right, we ready? All right. Yes, sir. If it's a green light, that means it's a go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another week of the Say Something show in the building. We definitely have a little bit of a special announcement before we get on to today's agenda and our traditions. The Big 50
Let's go.
has come for the show, which means we're on episode number 50. So shout out to everybody who's been along for the journey so far. It has been a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back and look at some of the previous episodes, who knows how long they'll all be up there as we get thousands of episodes up. So make sure you watching them because some of them are low quality in comparison to where we at now, which is great in terms of the trajectory. And always a good reminder of just, the process and the progress.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am excited to get some of those off because my hair was wilding. So, as we get to episode, I don't even know, 100 something,
Mm-hmm.
You better get in there now. If you're going to clip it, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be gone and I'm going to be fresh forever. So if you want to clip it now is your time. I'm just getting that out the way. But shout out to Reek. Shout out to Mitch. Shout out to myself. Excited to be a part of the 50 and excited that we got to 50. So clap it up real fast for everybody here. You know what I mean? Quick little clap up. Shout out to Reek also for bringing pizza for the Big 50. Man, well fed.
Pizza party, baby.
Well fed on a day like this. Real fam stuff. It's special if you got a pep, but then you also got the Al Pastor pizza in there.
First time seeing something
Come
like
on
that.
now. Do I want tacos or pizza? Just put my taco on the pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Say less. All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to jump into our tradition since now y'all know it's the Big 50. Mm-hmm. By the way, put in the comments whenever your first episode was tuning in. If it was episode 1, episode 15, episode 23, episode 49, episode 50. Mm-hmm. We don't mind. Just let us know whenever it was, and we'll give you a big old thumbs up back because we appreciate it regardless. So, traditions are traditions, so we must. And I encourage everybody, if they can, if you have the bandwidth, look to your right, look to your left, look to your phone. If nobody's there, reach out to somebody, give them a quick check-in. You never know when it might make a big, big difference. So, Mitch, how are you doing, my friend? Let the people know.
I'm doing good. We got post-Halloween status, so Thanksgiving coming up. Been setting up plans with the family.
Yeah.
We'll hang out with the folks. Already putting up decorations for Christmas.
There you go.
Just getting ready for the winter season, ready to talk some sports. I know we got the recap of the MLB season. Mm-hmm. Got some good basketball to talk about. So I'm excited to be back with the boys. 50th episode. It's great to be here. Damn. Like you said, we started on the couch. Now we're here.
Right.
No background. I guarantee there's always going to be clips of me with my hair because I know that stuff be looking wild out here. But,
right.
That's what it is when it's not braided up. I got to let it hang.
Yeah.
But happy to be back. Ready to get started. How about yourself?
Absolutely, man. Same thing. I like this part of the holidays. Holidays tend to be very, very kind of like rejuvenating and stressful at the same time. So totally understand if you guys are dealing with a little bit of the anxiety prior to holidays. I know that's kind of how I get, but I'm looking forward to the break from school, as I've mentioned. That'll be much needed, very exciting as well to take a little calming down of like this very fast-paced schedule that I'm on right now. I'm hoping that it doesn't feel like an oasis, that it really does recharge me and not feel like just like, what was that? That's weird. But like I am truly looking forward to it. And I feel good about where a lot of things are in life right now. So, always things to improve on. But whenever I get here to these Fridays as they are today, again, it's a real signifier of another week down, and another time to come together. For me, this is bordering fellowship, along with us doing a show. So happy to be here. Hope you guys are all doing well as always, and let's get into what we got today. All right, NFL. We'll start off where we have lately, just in terms of let's just get it out the way. Right? Let's just get it out the way. So that would be Raiders and the Raiders update. They were on a bye week. So for those who follow Ashton Jeanty, he was streaming a lot. Yeah. Playing COD. He's getting on there and
airing it out.
He doesn't. He hasn't been happy with how it's been going. He does think that there's going to be improvements coming out of this. A lot of the people that I was in the chat were, talking about how it's really hard to watch this O-line right now.
Definitely.
And as you've mentioned as well, play calling. So I'll let you just kind of break down whatever it is you want.
Yeah, so just to go off what you're talking about with the offensive line looking terrible, we do have Jackson Powers-Johnson out probably until next month. Right. And then Colton Miller, our other solid offensive lineman, he's questionable moving forward, and that could be week to week. He could come in for a few plays, maybe a quarter or two, and then get hurt again. That's the way it's kind of been going with our offensive line and how we've just been rotating guys. And like I was saying before, even last week, where a lot of our guys might not even be starters on other teams, but are starters for us, and we're having to get our backups from those guys. So it has been very rough, and Ashton Jeanty gets hit behind the line probably more than any other running back out there. So makes it understandable when he feels a bit discouraged when he's talking online. And pretty much that's how the season has gone. I mean, we're on a 3-game losing streak. 2 of the games we scored a combined 7 points, and then the Jaguars game we lose in overtime, a game that we could have definitely won. So it's really just a lot of bad play all the way around, and it probably starts with the coaching staff and the play calling, like you're saying. I don't know how many plays that are going to be screens to like behind the line of scrimmage to try and get forward, but I think we should start looking downfield, because anytime we've done that with Brock Bowers, we've had chunk plays. So I know it's going to be tough with our offensive line to get the time for our offense or for our wide receivers and tight ends to get open, but that seems to be the option that we need to go with, because right now it has been working. We're one of the worst offenses in all of football. So I don't see it getting much better against the Cowboys coming up on Monday night. I'm hoping we can show up. I mean, we are the type of team that will go on 3, 4, 5-game losing streaks and then win an impressive game.
Yep.
But that leads to nothing. It's just like, okay, cool, we did that 5 times this season, so we ended up 5 and 11, 5 and 11, 5 and 12, whatever it may be. But we keep playing like this, and we keep having these schemes that we have. Max Crosby and all our good players are going to end up leaving, and I mean, we just got to figure it out on all fronts. For Ashton Jeanty to come out and try and be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to do better." We've heard Max Crosby do that. We've heard every person that's come through the Raiders do that for over 20 years. Like, it's really not different. It's kind of at the point where it's like, what is it going to take for the team to change, for the culture to change, for being the curse of the Raiders? It's been too long now. It's like we're pushing it with the Browns and the Jets and how bad we've been over the decades now. You know, like
even like the Bengals have gotten it together.
Right. Other teams have figured it out. Even our seasons where it's like, oh, it looks positive, it's like, oh, we went 10-6.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like we've been hella impressive.
And then there's like no build on it.
Right.
And
nothing.
It's like back to like
we did that with our interim head coach, and then we get a different head coach after that.
Makes
no
sense.
Just it's been very inconsistent. So it's always nice to hear good things and positive things coming from Raider fans, Raider pundits, Raider players. But in reality, when it comes to being on the field, you see terrible play. Game in and game out. You might, like I said, have the random games where we show up, but it's like, what did the other team just play so terribly that day? Or do we have potential, but we just don't know how to repeat it? And it's been going on for too many years to sit here and honestly expect something positive out of the situation that we're in. But I guess, other people on TV feel like they got to find some kind of positives for it. But let's be real, guys. It's been 20 plus years. It's not looking any different. But let's hope we put up a good fight on Monday.
Right. Against the Cowboys, who are known to choke a game or two, on prime time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's got to start and finish with a quarterback, right? I mean, I feel like it's just been so long since we've sat there with the Raiders and just felt like, all right, this is a guy that we can be like, yeah, could be here in year 10.
Right.
Like, when is the last time we've sat there and just felt like, all right, this is buildable?
I mean, Derek Carr was that person.
Yeah,
but
and he did get a little bit of a shot. Y'all made the playoffs, and then, like, it seemed like every time, just like you just mentioned, every time they get one of those momentum-building seasons, they find a way to tear it down, whether it's, like, just awful.
Completely. Like, it's not like, oh, we're like, kind of good, No, we go from all right to back to terrible.
Yep.
To okay, back to terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times when we're okay, when I'm watching ESPN or anything, they're trying to. Oh yeah, I really do believe in them. They do got some guy and nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing ever comes from it. So that's just my experience as someone who's been a Raider fan his whole life. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm being practical. Sorry, my bad. I'm not a dreamer when it comes to the Raiders no more.
Right. No, I actually think the more I thought about it, the more I do feel like it probably is just going to take like a complete reset. I don't even know if the top is going to need the reset just because how realistic that is. I mean, we've all been saying that forever, but like maybe a young coach is the answer, right? Like maybe it is you go young coach and you marry him to a quarterback. And because they haven't done that in a long time, you know, in terms of not only the coach thing, but the quarterback thing stumps me where it's like, I don't know how the Raiders keep thinking we're going to get away with this.
Yeah.
It's just murderous, dude. It's like, I mean, how can we all as like semi-simple-minded sports fans be looking from the outside in and just going, that doesn't seem like a good idea. And it doesn't seem like the rest of the league respects that idea either. And it just doesn't seem like they ever get that same memo. They just seem to get well, we decided it was good, and so it's going to be good.
Right.
But, like, even now, it's just the whole could have had Sam Darnold. Let Sam Darnold go to freaking
Seattle. Now they're Super Bowl contenders.
Dog. And he's 27. So it's like, yo, he could be there for the next, 5-10 years. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like the more in terms of a light at the end of the tunnel, because the rest of the positions obviously need help, but they don't even matter. If you're not going to get a quarterback, it's like, what is an Ashton Jeanty?
Yeah.
Without a quarterback, I mean, there's no guy that we look at as a top back who can do it year in and year out without a person that we're going, oh, he's playing pretty well quarterback.
Geno Smith has 11 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
Woo! That might be actually like
he's like the only quarterback I think who has more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, those are like literally the numbers that got him benched the first time around. Like when he was a lottery, like when he was a high pick. So anyway, stay strong, y'all out there. Again, maybe the idea is, you're gonna have high picks.
Like it's crazy because I feel like the Cowboys are having a down year, right?
Right. Yeah.
I would take Dak Prescott's 17 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Oh, 1,000.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro,
1,000.
They're having a bad season.
Yeah.
And that's what he's putting there. Like, what if we had that? We'd probably have a winning record right now. We'd probably be like 6-3 right now.
100%.
That's all we need, bro. Just don't stop throwing to the other team, man.
Yeah, and he just has those such up and down games where it's like, I don't know how you throw 389 and then 115. You know what I mean? And both suck. It's like neither of them made a difference. It wasn't like, okay, the 389 you really played well.
Right.
It's like, dude, you lost both games. You just kind of played.
Just so happened that there was a whole bunch of yak that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about something better.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the Niners, man. Not like again with where we're at, we're diehards, man. So we're gonna stick here regardless. At least I am. I think Mitch at this point, probably whether he's hurt or not, is going to in the long run. Now, will it? Does he have the dexterity to deal with it on the day to day? Maybe not, right? But I don't think we're going anywhere. Hence the reason we're still gonna cover it no matter what. So. Jump into the Raiders.
It would be different. Like, bro, it's the A's and the Raiders.
Yeah.
It'd be different if we were like, even if it was like, I don't know, the Twins are pretty bad too, but
Twins are pretty bad.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, at least some of these other teams have like, even when our teams have made the playoffs or like thought about it, nobody thought we was gonna win any ever.
Right.
There's never been. It's been decades of that. So it's just tough to sit there and be like, yeah, this is the year. Like,
right.
How many times are you gonna be an idiot, right? Until you see a big change, and then oh, okay. Until it's obvious, like the Warriors, where it's oh, okay, because the Warriors were just as trash as the A's and the Raiders. So he saw the change, and now they got hella fans, and everybody believes.
Yep, and it lasted.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and it
was
lasted.
consistent. You know, even when we were like, they were like, I mean, we'll just do it again tomorrow. So obviously looking back at week 10 for us, a rough week. You know, I called this before it happened. I don't think I called it in our initial, again, pre-injury assessment of the schedule. But I was talking about this on the last podcast of just how hard I thought this game was going to be. Yeah. This was going to be a real challenge. This is a team to me that is looking even better than Seattle. Seattle looks good, but the Rams to me scary when it comes to like what they could be if they look anything like this in the playoffs. Yeah. They are a team that took Philadelphia to the brink last year, and I think they're better this year than they were last year by a good portion. Their defense has gotten a lot stronger. They're a very young defense, and so like all those dudes have already been playing like borderline Pro Bowl level. Like since their rookie years, like they drafted Verse and Bryant Young or whatever. It's not Bryant Young. That's the guy we had, but something Young, and I think it might be Bryant, but it's not Bryant. But like those two were drafted in the same draft class, have been Pro Bowlers, you know, already, and they have a bunch of other youngsters back there as well that just play well, play very, very hard. And then you look on offense, and they're one of the better offensive teams in the league with Matt Stafford rolling the way he is. Just fearless, a lot like Mayfield, like a lot like that in terms of, I think he obviously has a much better arm. And in terms of like real quarterback skill, I would say he's much more polished than Mayfield. But Mayfield has that X factor. But I just mean in terms of two guys right now that you just would never want to give a last drive to. And that you don't even feel safe in a 3rd and long. Right. And majority of other quarterbacks, it's like, book it, we good, don't even worry about it. These are guys that you just know they got to play for everything. And they're willing and have the arm strength to give it a go.
Puka and Devontae, too. Jeez.
Puka and Devontae are nasty. Kyron always does pretty well against us because that throwing game is so efficient. Yeah. You know, and we don't have anybody. You know, so for me, I was pretty surprised that we went down 14-0, really fought our way back. And then the true talent just, you know, outlasted what we had on the table. I mean, to me, I thought we played hard. Were there some mistakes? Yeah, but I thought that they started off hot. You know, they just came out the gate going crazy. Bang, bang, bang. They were mad, like I said, that we got them game 1. And so they came out, you know, thinking we got to punch them in the mouth. They did that. And then we were able to respond. We buckled down. Mac Jones really locked in, put together several really, really good-looking drives, brought us within a score. And then, you know, then it just never got close after that, right? But that team that's out there, you know, to me, the Rams right now are a perfect example of where talent makes the difference between good coaching. Because it's like you saw two great coaches coming up against each other. They always have just super battles, just like these crazy chess matches where they both walk away smiling and crying at the same time. And you just saw where it was like, man, both of these were good game plans. They were executed fairly well. It's just on the other side, the talent for the things they were asking to be done was staggering, in my opinion. You know, I think that, in my opinion, their 5th best player was still better than our 1st best player, excluding Christian McCaffrey. Right. And so, yeah, sure, you could say Benny, that's really his 2nd best player. I get it. But I think we all understand that C-Mac isn't even a 1st best player. You can't even do that to him. You know, that's how much he means to our team. Like saying 1st best doesn't even describe the usage he's getting compared to other 1st best players in the league. Right. So 6-4, we're now 3rd. To me, it's no surprise. Like, I'm shocked we're hanging on here. I think the schedule does soften up a lot down the stretch. You know, we still do have another one with Seattle, which will be really hard, but we have the Cardinals here, Panthers, Browns, Titans, Colts, Bears. Colts are legit as well. They obviously gave a smooth kick into the Raiders. And so, you know, they'll be legit, right? But in general, this is not as worrisome as the schedule could be. I think we've gotten the majority of the hard games out of the way. But are we going to do anything with the season? I think that the trade deadline speaks to that. We were very quiet. We didn't do anything. And I think that there's just not enough at the core of this team to have faith when you're playing the cream of the crop. And as a real fan, I predicted this way before. I guess even the coaches have thrown in the towel. For me, the second Fred Warner went down, I've been checked out. But it's been impressive to watch. Like, I love, and what I think that, speaks to what Mitch is so pissed about is I'm watching good football no matter what. They're coming out there, they're playing hard. Nobody's really there, but you still see a semblance of the team. Like, there's still a resemblance, of the team, right? And you can still see where your coach is making an imprint all over the game.
Yeah.
And so that, for me, is something I can appreciate after many, many strong years of a team full of talent matched with some good coaching. You just got to hope we can bounce back. Losing Michael Williams, to me as well, was that the last straw that breaks the camel's back, where it's like, I don't even know what to gain from this year anymore. Because, I was excited for him to be our de facto D-end, slotting in as our also, on third downs and beyond, can slide on the inside. Right, he was going to have an endless play opportunity. So I guess the rest of the guys are still there. Alfred Collins. Haven't seen Nick Martin all season. But that's because Bethune and all those guys have stepped up. Upton Stout's still out there. C.J. West has been playing a lot more. That's what's up. Jordan Watkins played his first game. Still haven't seen Jordan James. I can't wait to see that guy. He's supposed to be really good. I still don't know what's going on. Marcus Siegel's been well. Hopefully these guys can continue to develop and Mac Jones continues to show out, because I've already heard lots of rumors about his price being pretty high. And, I wouldn't – the way Shanahan plays it, he, doesn't value that stuff. You know what I mean? He's like, he's priceless. That would be, his response. Like, Mac for a first, he's priceless. Shut up, Shanahan. Get him out of here. But, I do think that he values – Mac Jones a lot. And you guys
taking Mac over Brock? Kicking Brock
no,
out there?
Man, no. Because at the end of the day, you'd have to pay him both, right? So at the end of the day, it's not like you'd suddenly get Mac and just be able to get him on a discount forever. Mac is looking for a long-term deal now, right now.
How to get rid of Brock? Trade.
And there's so many teams. I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones ends up on the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you right now, there's teams like the Raiders where there's so many quarterback openings. And when you have a guy that's young, who has the prestige of being a first-round pick, who has a Pro Bowl to his name, this is what happens. You saw Darnold, right? And Darnold could have done it over there. The Mac is back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would take Sam Darnold over Mac Jones any day. I think Mac is playing for a good program right now in the 49ers that helps him. But the way he was looking on the 49ers, if he was on the Raiders, he'd be looking like Geno. He's hobbling on the field, and somehow the 49ers team is able to keep him upright. They're doing a good enough job of doing that. Our line is not
play calling too.
That's one, all that. And it's just
which is Chip's
you're
fault.
seeing the way every drop back for Geno is
disaster.
It's like, I'm about to die.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm dead. Okay, I'm alive. It's ugly out there. So I just say that to just reiterate what we're talking about with the youth. It's it would have been nice to have a Jaden Daniels, because regardless of if he's somebody who's going to run downfield out of the way, he could create off. It's all right, bro, I've been the kind of guy who hasn't had a line, and I have to create now. And that's what the Raiders present when they have offensive lines. They don't have an offensive line that's we had it 1 year. Yeah. The 1 year that Derek Carr ended up breaking his whole leg, we had a solid line that a non-mobile quarterback could stay behind, who was solid enough to get it to guys. But if we don't have that, the guys that are behind, we can't have a CJ Beathard behind it. We can't have these low-end quarterbacks and make them look good. They don't look good because they can't create off the fly. And that's the kind of quarterback that I feel like the Raiders need. And that's why it would have been nice to have a Justin Fields or even a Shedeur Sanders. Even if they're not good at the guys that we're supposed to have who are pocket passers haven't been good at passing. So at least have somebody who can run.
Right.
That might switch things up. Maybe it'll free up other players. You never know.
To be fair, Fields has been terrible.
Yeah.
Legitimately can't throw for over 100 yards.
Geno, for some reason, sometimes be looking like that too.
Right. Well, I say all that to say there's not a lot of answers for a lot of questions at quarterback for teams. So, when a guy like this shows out, whether teams want to lean on the system, the player, whatever, what is really boosting his status right now is he's making a lot of other guys look good. Like we have guys that nobody knows. And I'm talking about even within the faithful, guys who are like, well, I follow this team. Every week there is somebody out there getting heavy PT who I've either not heard of or I have to get reacquainted with. Of like, wait, huh? So, again, let's just hope we get dug out this season. There's not a lot to talk about. No new injuries, which is great, right? Ayuk, where are you? We don't know. Pearsall, where are you? We don't know. There's a lot of where are you? We don't know. And then the rest of the guys, we know exactly where you're at and you ain't coming back. So, good coaching. Let's figure out a way to make the most of this season. To me, where it starts getting tough is we all know this is a league that's draft capital oriented. And you just don't want to be the Portland Trailblazers of the NFL. Okay? I don't want to be on the back end fighting for that last spot that we won't actually get and then be draft slot 14. Ugh. Like, if we're going to be buns this year, think about it. Be buns, right? But I know that they're looking at a lot of these wins and going, we beat good teams. But to me, it's like you look at a lot of the beginning of the season and there was guys still there, to be real. So Cardinals again next week. I think we can still take it. That's more disrespectful to the Cardinals than it is respect to the Niners. And then looking ahead, Panthers, Browns. We could go on a little quick 3-game. And then Titans. So we could go on a hot 4-ski before we end up taking on the Colts, Bears, and Seahawks, which we could lose all those. I think we could easily beat the Bears. Colts would be a little tougher. And Seahawks, we all know what that is. So Shanahan just has to figure out what he wants. I know that, he's a guy that just loves when his guys are playing for him. So props to him. But to me, the season has been over. And I'll just look to keep watching the rookies and see if they can continue to progress.
Player development.
On to NCAA football. We have Cal upsetting number 15 Louisville. This would be Cal's first big upset in the ACC.
Yes, sir.
I think amongst both sports, right? I don't think we've had a big upset.
I haven't seen anything basketball-wise. Yeah. I don't know if we got any chance basketball-wise, but
we've beaten Arizona. We be having them years. We'll Justin Cobbs it or whatever. Remember?
No, yeah. I think we got some solid players. Like I said, we got some sons of former players on our team. So
Justin Pippen, baby.
Yeah, we got Pippen. We got who was the other one? Somebody else.
Stephon Marbury's
son. Yeah,
Isn't it like BJ Marbury's?
Something. But hopefully they can show out and make us tough in the ACC. I mean, we need those kind of recruits on our team. We can't just keep getting these randos.
Right. Well, why don't you go over a little bit of the upset?
So now the Cal Bears are 6-4, 3-3 in the ACC. Sagapulutele, our young freshman quarterback, threw for 323 yards and 2 touchdowns. He threw the touchdown on 4th down in overtime. To our boy Jacob DeJesus,
who
went absolutely crazy.
Never a doubt.
16 receptions for 158 yards and a touchdown, and his touchdown was a game winner.
Out the slot.
It's nice to see us finally come away with one of these ones where Justin Wilcox says, you know what, let's go for it. What do we got to lose? This could be a defining moment for the rest of the season. And he went out there and got this win. I think it's a big confidence builder for our last 2 games of the season. Next, we play the big game at Stanford. I think we could take that one. Stanford has not been looking too hot this season. And then we round out the season with SMU before the bowl season starts. So I think if we can win these last 2 games, it could really look good for us moving into the playoff season and get us a nice little bowl game.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to them boys, especially Sagapulutele, is that how you say it?
Yes,
man, bro, please just stay.
Yeah.
Just please, bro. I know it hasn't been the most exciting. But I think that goes back to last year, too, though. Mm-hmm. These, close games where it's like, bro, you're going to break my heart here? We're going to do that? We're going to do this? We're going to give it back? What was it, Miami, Florida State?
Yeah, Miami, man. College game day came to Berkeley
and that
for
was
the
Cam
first
Ward.
time. Yeah,
that
Cam
was
Ward.
The number 1 overall pick, and we had him.
I was at that game. That was rough.
We had him.
That was rough.
And that was a week or two after we did the same thing with Florida State.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, we're getting our get back. Finally, the football guys knew we're the Buffalo Bills of college football.
And now the quarterback that we had that was taking us along the way is on Indiana and looking like he's going to be a number 1 pick in the draft.
And the Heisman. I mean, they're talking big Heisey money for the
That's
boy.
crazy. Like, Cal.
Shout out to Fernando Mendoza.
Right. Like, Cal, are we that, like, bunk with our rest of our team that we can't get a guy who's supposed to be a Heisman Trophy player to get us a better record? We can't keep that guy, man. Come on.
We can't keep him from a hoop school?
That NIL money must have been nice over there.
For sure. I know they're cashing out for quarterbacks.
Cashing out.
I know the boosters are like, if I'm pulling my checkbook out, you know what position it's going to. I don't want to watch a running back. I want to watch a quarterback. So anyway, shout out to the Cal Bears. I almost went too far. Really, really dope to see them win. Like Mitch is saying, finally we get one over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
That was awful to watch us just seemingly be right on the doorstep, and just we've walked away with no credit. I don't think anybody's even talked about those games. It was talked about a bit last year, the Miami game, because it was like crazy finish.
Mm-hmm.
So people were saying it was one of the more entertaining games of the year. But nobody talks about the loser. Nobody's like, oh, super entertaining, and it was Cal who lost.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it was an entertaining Miami win. So, moving on. I hope everybody continues. If you're a Cal Bear, continue watching. Shout out to you guys, and I'm definitely excited to see this year with the basketball.
Got to hit up Haas Pavilion.
Oh, I'm definitely pulling up because ACC is like that in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Really like that.
Your boys, North Carolina.
I'm going. I got to. If it's here, yeah, I got to. So that and Duke. Florida State, some of these real, like, why would they ever be here schools be amazing to see. So, shout out to the football team, bringing some light to us. Hopefully we can get some rollover, maybe an upset this year with the hoop team. Would have been great if we could have kept Pej's son.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
He was sure balling, but he was balling to the neck, man.
Mm-hmm.
On to the next thing of the night. We have a really awesome, this is more just like overview, macro, not micro. But if you are into the streaming world of sports, this may involve you, or you may already know about this, but YouTube TV had lost. They were in a dispute with Disney Plus, and they lost for the time being the rights to ESPN and all the things that Disney has. So ABC, all that stuff out of there. So there was a couple weekends there where it's like, I don't even think I've realized how much TV I don't watch unless it's ESPN and the several different shows that I enjoy that they produce and provide to the the audience. So like, it was a terrible, terrible experience for most people. I think a lot of sports watchers were put in dismay of like no Monday Night Football. A lot of these games that were just used to being nationally televised, sorry about it. Good luck. Get your laptops out and good luck streaming. So if you're a YouTube TV user, check your email or log into your account, and it'll give you that beautiful notification that says ESPN and all Disney Plus stuff is back. So that was a settlement that most people thought was going to be an overnight thing, and that definitely lasted about 2 weeks. So thankfully, that's over. And I hope that none of y'all made that switch or any drastic decisions, and now have done whatever it took to get ESPN back, with it only to return in a matter of a couple weeks.
Just to piggyback off that a little bit, I know it's going to be a little bit less sports related, but the streaming world and how TV entertainment is out there now. We went from regular, just basic cable TV, channel 2, 3, 50, up to 60, whatever, paying for that, watching commercials, to then cable stuff. Then we have to pay for cable, get the dish on it back in the day. Now we moved to streaming. And what was the biggest thing that streaming was going to give us? No commercials.
Right. And
simplifying. Now we got nothing but commercials, and we have to pay extra for no commercials if we want that option. Like, it's just crazy how the streaming world, it originated to get rid of everything but the content, and now it's literally just gone back to regular TV.
Absolutely.
Where you're literally paying for these commercials again. It's like, It's such a scam.
It
I
is.
can't even believe it, bro. Like,
and it's more scammy, I feel like, because now you can't get everything all in one place. Like, you legitimately, there is no spot where it'll be like, all right, all boxes are checked.
Yeah.
It's just not possible anymore. And back in the day, although it was a hassle, you could go to Xfinity, you can go to some of these other ones before we really got to this. Everybody has a streaming service. Everybody's vying to buy different things so they can put it out on their streaming service. You had Comcast, Xfinity, or DirecTV, or there was like 3 different kinds of providers you could have, and all of them had the same stuff.
Yeah.
It was everything. It was just based on, what exact plan do you want and what works best for your setup or in that exact area.
Yeah.
And so, man, we have surely mucked that whole situation up. Very capitalistic.
Yeah.
Right? And it reminds me a lot of other industries that go mainstream. Like, once they do, too many hands in the pot, and everything eventually strays way too far from the original stuff, which is just the content-oriented ideas, right? So those are just no longer at the forefront. And then you see it end up where everybody's providing a lesser, but acting like they're selling something later. And that just sucks. It's like
it's all about that
car sales. Yeah. All right, another more neutral, not necessarily directly tied to our usual sports agenda, but this, I would say, circles a little closer to what is a sports realm. And if you are from the Bay Area, you will know that he is actually very much so in the sports community and in the sports realm, but just not on a national basis necessarily. However, he did end up getting Laney, which is a junior college out here in Oakland, that has notoriously not been very great at anything. I mean, I think it's a pretty good community college and a pretty good community within it. Right. But I don't think it's known for being like, wow, like, these guys are doing, or these people are doing something that's in one sort of direction and is really great. I think it was all just kind of people trying to figure things out and getting on to the next phase. He did really turn it into, like, they won a natty, right? A JUCO natty. He really did turn the football program into something that became a much more well-known program, and something that, due to Last Chance U, which is a Netflix show, became nationwide, became something that you could watch all across the country. So unfortunately, I have really sad news about him. Yesterday in Oakland at Laney at around before noon, I'm not sure on the exact timeline, he was shot, and he ended up passing away earlier today. They have arrested the suspect, but again, just really, really sad to see somebody that's impacted a lot of people within the community. Sad to see him shot and pass away. No matter what it is, I know that people can always have mixed feelings about coaches, right? Yeah. And some people coach with a little bit more tough love. And I know Coach Beam had a really big heart. He liked to help people that he felt were down, but also had a pretty stern set of boundaries, right? Sure. And most coaches do, and especially football. And so, I've always heard that, people have been a little put off at times by him as well. But, I say all that to say that no matter what, in any of those situations, when people are helping and providing for the community, right, and they're having to set boundaries, and inevitably not everybody's going to like you, never a reason to justify anything that's this tragic. And, truly something that pretty much shocked me. I mean, I went to the school and I had multiple friends that played on the team with him. So definitely familiar with the whole situation, and just really sad that he ended up taking what seems to be, well, I'm not sure if it was his last breath, but seems to be his last moments of like good health were spent. We're spent at his office right next to the field where he put in so much work over the last 2 decades. So who knows if that's a good or a bad, but again, RIP Coach Beam. Very, very sad. And there was also another school shooting at Skyline High School in Oakland. Don't mean, we're not going to be very commonly going over, Bay Area news or school shootings. But we thought this was important for this episode. And just because of the time, 24 hours in between the two, we thought both were worthy of a mention. I don't know if you wanted to say anything on this subject before we move on, but if you do.
No, I mean, just, there's a lot of legends in the Bay Area, especially when it comes to the coaching world. He was one of them, started at Skyline and coached there for a few decades, then moved over to Laney. So it's just sad to see somebody who made made a big impact on a lot of people's lives and you could tell by all the people who were putting out like posts, just remembering him, and he gained national notoriety off of Last Chance U, and those episodes were some good ones, and it really showed that he was trying to support guys. If you're a JUCO coach, you really know a lot of guys who are grinding, who may not have a lot, and so you're not only coaching the guys at the sport, but you're trying to help guide them through life when they're really struggling. Because if you go to a JUCO, you're really you're really grinding. Like you probably like living at somebody else's house, or like in the episodes, one of the guys was living out of his car, so. It's just when you got guys like that, you're doing more than just helping them on the field, but you're helping them grow as people too.
Absolutely. And just eerie that the shooting happened Skyline and they're in such close proximity to his actual death in a place that he coached, both the places that he coached. And they didn't have any connection, but just very, very eerie. And the last thing I will say is he did put around 30 players into the NFL, which is pretty impressive for a coach from this area. And I know a lot of players as well had shouted him out to honor his memory and stuff after learning about his passing. So RIP to Coach Beam. Condolences to his family, his friends, his loved ones, everybody that cared. And, for the community, man, I hope that we can take this kind of stuff serious. We take a lot from our own community as is. And this is not the easiest community, and so we need good leaders. We need people that are going to help and want to give back. So I hope that we're able to respond in the right way as a community as well. MLB,
should we do the matchups for this week first?
Yeah,
for the NFL?
Yeah. Oh yeah, heck yeah. We can do matchups.
We already had Thursday night football, so we saw New England take care of business. Young Travion Henderson taking advantage of his minimal carries, but got 3 touchdowns
in the last 2 games.
Yep, showing why he was such a touted rookie this season. And then New York, as usual, not doing a goddamn thing like you were talking about. Justin Fields ain't doing this thing over there. Can't throw it a buck. And that doesn't leave a whole lot of options for the rest of the squad. So, New England took care of business. And we got a game in Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu, where Real Madrid plays. We got the Washington Commanders taking on the Miami Dolphins. Personally, and fantasy-wise, I'm hoping that the Miami Dolphins could have another big game, especially my boy Devon Achane. I need 175 yards and 2 touchdowns again from you, big guy.
Right.
But so that makes me going to say I'm going to go with the Dolphins on this one. No Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. A lot of players in flux. Yeah, they're kind of in shambles, not knowing what they're going to do with the rest of their season. And maybe after this last week against a good Bills team, getting a win against them, Miami can save the rest of their season.
Next, we have 10 a.m. back in Atlanta, Georgia, on the U.S. side of things. Panthers versus Falcons. Good old divisional NFC South rivalry here. This game, all these games are always pretty close and usually not great offense played. I'm going to say Falcons on this one. The Panthers have the weirdest 5-5 record ever. I feel like their 5 wins are good wins, and I feel like their 5 losses are bad losses. So it's just hard to know. And I think the Falcons are one of the weirdest 3-6 teams too. Like to even look and see that they're 3-6, it feels like they shouldn't be 3-6, but they are. So I think that they can get it here. And I think that division's so up in the air. Why wouldn't it happen?
Next game, another tough one to call. We got the Buffalo Bills versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams kind of been teetering up and down all season. Injuries all over for Tampa Bay. Don't know who's going to be showing up on the field for Baker, either running back or wide receiver, because you don't know who they're going to pick in the backfield with still no Bucky Irvin. Buffalo, I'm hoping Josh Allen can figure it out over there. Khalil Shakir keep on getting about 5-6 receptions. And then James Cook, hopefully he can get into the end zone a few times. So I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, take care of business against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Absolutely. Next at 10 a.m., still morning slot, we have the Texans versus the Titans, the 2 teams with T's in their names. Neither of these teams hold a lot of value to me. But I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because Titans ain't beating nobody. So
next game we got Chicago versus Minnesota. Minnesota been stumbling around all season. Maybe they could have a big game from Justin Jefferson, but when he's really the only person that they have to target on defense, it makes it tough for him to do anything despite the fact that he might be the best receiver out there on the field. On the other side, we got Caleb working with his young receiver, Roma Dunze. DJ Moore, somebody call and find out where he's at. We still haven't figured it out all year, but maybe he might show up in this one. Colston Loveland has been showing out. Hopefully he can stay healthy for them because he's been a solid player. I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. Take care of business against the Vikings.
The Bears. Here we go. Still in the morning slot. A lot of morning games. We got Packers versus the Giants in East Rutherford. Actually should be pretty decent weather. I'm going to go with the Packers, but again, the Packers I'm not convinced with. I don't feel good about them, but I feel even worse about the Giants. So that's just how I'm going about that pick. Go Pack, go.
Jameis coming in for the Giants. Hopefully he can shake things up for them.
Yeah.
Next, we got the Bungles versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. This one could be another toss-up. You really don't know what defense is going to show up for Pittsburgh this season. It's been up and down all year. Bengals, we got to see if Joe Flacco still has some of that magic in his arm. Hopefully Chase Brown has been able to figure some things out, open up the run game. I'm going to go with the surprise on this one. No, I'm not. I'm going with the Steelers to take it against the Bengals.
Got him. Next, we have the Chargers versus the Jaguars in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to go with the Chargers here, especially stylistically. I think the Jaguars, they are kind of like the poor man version of the Chargers with how they play. So I think when they win how the Chargers win. And I just don't think they're better at winning in that way than the Chargers.
Little brother. All right, next one, we got a toss-up game. This one's a real tough one. Maybe a preview of an NFC playoff game coming down to the wire.
For first place,
Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. Man, the way that Devontae and Puka have been showing out for the Rams has been impressive. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been damn near the number one seat receiver in the whole league.
Even better.
They also just got Rashid Shaheed into the fold as well. If Sam Darnold can keep it steady, I think the defense has been showing up as well.
Right.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this one. I know the Rams have been playing solid this year, but I think this may be one where they stumble. I'm going with the Seahawks in L.A.
Market. By the way, God, Stafford, 2-4-2-7, 25 TDs, 2 picks. What? Yeah. Anyway. Next, we have the afternoon game, 105, 49ers versus the Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona. Like I said, I think that we can take this. I think, these division games are always going to be close. Cardinals don't have anybody. We don't have anybody. And so when it comes down to something like that, I think you got to lean towards who you feel has better coaching, who you feel has a better organization down to the core. And that I'll always take my boys. So got the Niners in that one.
All right, another division battle. We got the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore, 3 games in a row since Lamar Jackson has returned to the field. They're looking like they're going on an upward trajectory, whereas the Browns going back down with Dylan Gabriel. No signs of Shedeur Sanders getting any kind of chance out there, so looking like the Browns have no chance. I'm going with the Ravens.
Next, we have the Chiefs versus the Broncos, which I think is a power-packed matchup here out of the AFC West. Broncos at 8-2, Chiefs at 5-4. I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs here. I think this is a put up or shut up game for the Chiefs, and I think that they notoriously tend to show up and show out instead of shut up. So when you look at this, I think that they're going to see that this is the number 1 team in their division, 5-0. With an 8-2 record, and they're going to realize we're 1-3 if we don't take this swing here. How else are we going to make up that ground?
All right. Sunday Night Football takes us to Philly. We got the Eagles taking on the Detroit Lions.
What a matchup.
I think the Philadelphia has some issues right now. If you have not seen, A.J. Brown has been telling folks to cut him on fantasy leagues because he has not been showing up. And he's not happy about it. I think he wants out of Philadelphia for sure. That team has been struggling on the offensive side of the ball. In Detroit, with J-Mo now showing up, scoring touchdowns along with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that wide receiver core is going to take it against the Philadelphia Eagles. Detroit, mark it down.
Lastly, on Monday Night Football, as we mentioned earlier in the show, going out to Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, we have the Cowboys versus the Raiders. These are two teams that notoriously suck, yeah, and they're both just also teams that trajectory-wise, it's hard to ever get a true gauge. Never really matched their records either when they play against each other. I think it should be a good game. I mean, I think both these teams end up they make each other look good. But, George Pickens, Javonte Williams, Dak Prescott, and then the return of CeeDee Lamb, I think will just end up being too much at the end of the day for the Raiders.
Doesn't look good for the boys.
All righty. Well, that is the NFL. If there's anything that you feel like we missed, disagree with, and all of the above, just go ahead and put it in the comments. And also let us know what you think the game of the week is after you've seen us go down that entire Week 11 schedule. We're going to move to the MLB before we close out today's show. Okay. So we have awards and some top free agent discussions to be had.
All right. So end of the year now. All the awards have come out. Let's start with the boring one first. We got Manager of the Year. You guys probably don't even know these people's names.
Right.
But the Brewers in the National League, Pat Murphy was the National League Manager of the Year. Clap it up for him. And then Stephen Vogt for the Guardians. Former A's player, now turned coach. He's come out. He's been a strong coach ever since he started. So shouts out to them for Manager of the Year. Rookie of the Year for the National League, the Braves, Drake Baldwin, catcher, came out really strong this year. Played DH as well as catcher because they do also have Sean Murphy on their team, who's an all-star himself. But it came out batted .274, 19 home runs and 80 RBIs. So he really showed out, especially at the catcher position. Very good production from him from the plate. And then personally happy because the American League Rookie of the Year was on the Athletics. It was Nick Kurtz, first baseman for us. I mean, he looks like an all-star already, honestly. He batted .290, 36 home runs, and 86 RBIs. Would have had more RBIs if he was on any other team. The A's just never have anybody on base, so he's hitting a lot of solo home runs. But he looks like an absolute stud. I hope we can build around him and Jacob Wilson.
Yeah.
But we have, and like you brought up before, Soderstrom.
Yeah, I like that.
They have a good young core. Let's just hope that they can keep these guys into Las Vegas when they have their real field and their real facilities, and hopefully they're real fans. Because right now in Sacramento, it's kind of a joke. I mean, I can't imagine being on the team right now. Like, it was bad enough playing in the Oakland MLB stadium, and now you're playing in a crappy minor league stadium. Like, that's got to be rough, man. And it's got to make you want to get out of there. Like, I don't care who you are. You made it to the MLB. You're not trying to be on a AAA field. I want out of the minors. I want to be a big boy. So hopefully we can keep Nick Kurtz. Great job. Shouts out to them for Rookie of the Year. Moving on, we got our Cy Young pitching winners. On the Tigers, Tarek Skubal for the American League. 13 wins, 2.21 ERA, and 241 strikeouts. Absolute stud. Somebody that may not even return to the Tigers. He might be too high of a price tag for them, and he might want to move to a team that maybe has a little bit higher chance to make it. I know the Tigers have been making the playoffs, been making a push over the last few years, but they're going to be losing some key guys, and Tarek Skubal might be one of them. Next, for the National League, another guy who might be on the move as a Cy Young Award winner, Pirates pitcher Paul Skeens.
Man.
10 wins. My man had a 1.97 ERA with 216 strikeouts and had 10 wins.
Gross.
This man is putting up same kind of numbers as King Felix back in the day on Seattle, getting no run support. Dude should have had probably like 18 wins at least this season. Absolute stud. Watch out for him being on the move eventually at some point if the Pirates can't figure it out. MVP, the award that probably had the biggest discussion, especially when it came to the American League. When it came to the National League, it was really no contest. Shohei Ohtani wins his 4th MVP.
Cooking.
Man, what can't this guy do? He batted .282 with 55 home runs and 102 RBIs, which is like, oh, that's amazing on its own. But also he decided, hey, I'm going to come back after having surgery last season. I'm going to get back to pitching. Showed out, started 14 games this season, had an under a 3 ERA, and then showed in the playoffs he can be a valuable arm anytime he's on the mound. Guy can do both ways. 4th MVP, absolute stud, no questions asked. Now for the American League, we had a debate.
Tough one.
And I think a lot of people are going to be discussing this over the next few days because I know there was a lot of people who believe Cal Raleigh should have won this award. Mm-hmm. But lo and behold, the New York Yankees boy, face of the league, Aaron Judge, batting .331 with 53 home runs and 114 RBIs, comes out as the American League MVP. I mean, it's tough. Cal Raleigh had a lot of records broken this season, had, I believe, 1 pass ball and the whole entire season as a catcher, commanded the whole defense as well as leading this team on offense. That something you don't ever really see out of the catcher position because of how demanding the position is on defense. I think they should have took that into consideration as well. I think if you take Cal Raleigh out of the catcher position any game for the Seattle Mariners, it weakens their team, especially defensively. Whereas you have Aaron Judge out in right field, and when he can't be out there to play defense, they can put Giancarlo Stanton out there, and they get the same results. So I think they needed to put that into consideration as well as how historic Cal Raleigh's season was this year and how great he was for the team. I think it would have been a better story. I think he did, in fact, have a better season, but I can't knock Aaron Judge. You batted .331 with over 50 home runs. You have an amazing season. It just, to me, it would have made a better story if Cal Raleigh had won, and I think he did deserve it.
Right, because it is most valuable player, not most valuable stats.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's not most valuable player to the league. Right. Aaron Judge is definitely more of a face on the Yankees than somebody like Cal Raleigh, but we'll leave it up to you guys. Who
brought more fun this year is the real, that's where I always look at it too, of like, how dare you overlook how much eyes Cal Raleigh brought on baseball.
Big time.
The nickname,
doing
it as a catcher. Like, people were into baseball when Mike Piazza's and stuff existed.
Yeah.
When there were guys,
Rodriguez.
Bro. Man. So it's like, to see a guy like this been so long, like even the last guy who was considered a good hitting catcher, but I mean like JT Realmuto, right? Yeah. And it's like, bro, it's 2020.
Yeah.
And we're like, damn.
Salvador Perez.
We're like, bro, Salvador Perez legit. Not stealing a bag, but he's popping it out of there. Yeah. And then Buster, who was never really above like a 20 ball
Yachty,
but he just could. Yachty was legit too, and Yachty was just so well rounded.
Yeah.
Like his actual catching ability and throw his arm back there is just crazy. Anyway.
But yeah, so that just rounds out the major awards. Silver Slugger awards we're giving out. Golden Gloves we're giving out. Platinum Gloves we're giving out. Go check that out on the ESPN website. Go down through all that. Maybe I'll bring you guys some shorts a little bit, just going over that. But definitely check that out. But moving forward to next season, since this one's over, we have our key free agents. And to lead the way for them, we got Kyle Tucker from the Cubs.
Beast.
Could be going to the Dodgers. Another person joining the Death Star. Also, we have Kyle Schwarber from the Philadelphia Phillies. Who's going to go out reaching for him? Another guy who can give you 50 home runs, be a leadoff guy for you, get on base. Next is Cody Bellinger. Is he going to be somebody that can help another team?
Right.
Hasn't really worked out too much with the Yankees, but maybe somebody else can use his services. Next, we got Alex Bregman. He's somebody on the Red Sox right now. They're up in the air. They're making a youth movement. Maybe he can go to another contender. Who knows? The Astros back Carlos Correa. Maybe they'll bring back Alex Bregman.
Yep.
And last but not least, just to round out a little top 5, we got on my man Pete Alonso.
Big Pete, Polar Bear.
Are the Mets going to be able to keep him, or is he going to go and choose to be on another team? I don't know.
Right.
What team could really use a big bopper at first base? Maybe even, I know they had Josh Naylor, but he looks a little iffy over there. Yeah. Maybe Pete Alonso goes to the Mariners or something like that. Or maybe he goes to another team that could put.
I could see like the Diamondbacks.
The Diamondbacks, yeah.
Like having him be their mark because they lost Naylor.
Yeah, I can see even the not Tampa Bay, the Toronto Blue Jays being like, let's platoon him and Vladdy, 100%. Have one be DH, one first base. Easy, you know, man. You never know. Like, there's new contenders out there, so it'll be exciting to see who actually goes out there and make a splash. Even a team like the Giants could use a Kyle Tucker out there to go hawk down some balls and play with new guys like Willie Adames and push them above and beyond. But I know you guys are also very much looking for pitching to solidify that rotation that with just one or two pitchers could really be legit. And we got to get together that bullpen after we lost Randy Rodriguez. That's the big weakness
that doesn't get
out of everything.
Yeah. I'm looking at Devin Williams, who's not a guy that you mentioned, but a guy who'll be a free agent.
Yeah.
What's up, Brody? Let's we're the type of team that can make you have a bounce back.
Ranger Suarez, another free agent pitcher coming out there, could join if the Tigers get rid of Tarek Skubal or they can't get him. Tigers could go for Ranger Suarez, be a perfect little slot in there.
Easy. And then both the Japanese players.
Pitcher
and then
Mirakawa. Oh my
and
goodness.
And then that 25-year-old hitter.
And so there's a couple Japanese guys who can shake things up, just depending on where they go. Are they going to go to San Diego?
Tatsuya Imai is the starting pitcher. And then the name of Munetaka Murakami is the third base 26-year-old.
So these guys, maybe the Red Sox could be a team that they go to, the Padres, or even again the Cubs or the Dodgers.
They somehow always
bro, Seiya Suzuki is an absolute stud.
Beast.
He's a beast.
I feel like there's like 5 teams that are always in for the Japanese, and it's like a guarantee that they're gonna
any major city, please.
Yes, for real, and please be clean.
Right.
Did you want to touch on Clase and our boy Luis Ortiz?
Oh yeah, man. Just to close us out. It's crazy to me.
Literally close.
These guys, literally. Literally close. All right. Anyway, so it's just interesting to me that I could be somebody who can sign a contract 3 years, $50-60 million, but then decide to go into a gambling scheme for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why not just work to the next contract?
Right.
I don't understand. You don't really need to go into the gambling world. We've seen how it's worked out in the past. You thought you was slick? I mean, you can literally hear this man cursing at himself after he throws pitches he didn't want to on the field. So, I mean, if he has messages during the game to people saying whether he's going to throw strikes or not. So, I mean, it seems like he's been caught red-handed. He pled not guilty. We'll see what comes of it, but just stay out of gambling. You guys make millions of dollars. Invest in something. Why do you need to gamble it away? I know it can be a serious addiction, and I'm not trying to take that light. But, yo, man, gamble in investments. You guys are already making millions of dollars. Just let it make money for you. Don't be stupid and think you're just the smartest person. You play baseball. That don't mean you know how to do math and all that other stuff. Leave that for the real gamblers. You stick to baseball, stick to sports. Don't make it complicated.
You're in a whole different country, so I know you don't understand the United States.
Right. So it's just come on, guys. Let's get rid of these betting scandals. Let's get back to the sports, guys. Come on.
Especially when you literally were making percentages of what you make on your game check. That's where none of us should feel bad for you. Mm-hmm. Is like somebody in your circle needed to just pull you aside and pull out a calculator and just go, the trajectory you're on without doing what you're about to do and the potential of all this other stuff you could incur, you could take on by choosing this route, including jail time. And so just to familiarize you before we move on, look this up, Google it, Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz, 2 Cleveland Guardian pitchers who it seems as though Clase, the bigger name, helped get Ortiz in line with these guys and was, probably that's how he was initially involved. And it doesn't matter because if money ever changes hands, you're involved forever.
Right.
And they have been caught getting paid, dollars, pennies on the dollar for what they would have been making just to throw the baseball. And, they were doing this, like Mitch said, on pitch count, on balls and strikes, on walking a player, different things like that are prop bets, that are idiotic. Yeah. They're like, you can't even maximize your money on those things. And they're also very easy to track. So that's what makes me think you guys don't even understand. And it's kind of what Mitch was saying. You really thought you were Timothy. You were like, nah, somebody brought me the most genius idea on earth and brought it to me first.
Nobody else would have ever thought of this.
Brought it to me first. Like, I'm the first human on earth they chose. Anyway, so look it up, Google it. There's going to be many more names to come. We'll be on top of it as it goes. I mean, one of these episodes, we may need to just do a scandal special.
Right.
Because it's getting to that point now where there are big enough names across all the sports where we could legit break down timelines, what's going on, and, you know, what leagues are being impacted the most. Because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And so put in the comments if you think that'd be a great little segment for us to do. You know, if you have any other ideas of good segments, throw them down there as well. We're open to all ideas. But it's getting to that level where we may need a scandal special just to see, like, where's the state of sports? Because it seems to be buried 6 feet below a lot of gambling debt.
Trying to see some hidden tapes. Bring up the MJ stuff.
Dude, there's going to be
what happened with his gambling stuff.
Right.
Bring out all the tapes.
Right.
I need to see it all. It's been happening for years.
Right.
Now we just want to bring it to light because we woke or whatever. Nah, people been cheating.
Right.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. They always told us that one. So something going on behind the scenes. Let's expose it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as it always is, you know, when it gets too much, you know, it always ends up coming to the light. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, to a certain aspect, I think it's always been happening, and that's fine, right? With, like, there's always got to be extra money changing hands behind the scenes with professional sports. But I do truly wonder if we've ever been in a space other than, like, the truly corrupt 70s where there was, like, all levels of drug use in the league. It wasn't even a real league, really, right? Like, I wonder if there's ever been a time where it is as corrupt as it is right now. I don't know what players are I don't know who's legit and who's not.
It had to have been back in the day.
Well, in the 70s, sure, right? But I'm talking about ever since the league has modernized and become more of a legit league. Because there was a time where the league was, I mean, it was people showing up playing basketball.
Yeah.
Right? But it was not a lot farther than that. Now it's, you know, it's really is what it is, right? But
I mean, if Reggie Bullock can buy an island and make a whole resort on it,
right?
Even the worst guys are making a lot of money.
For sure.
Compared to back then.
And
like
he seems also, at least according to that shit, it seems like he was a smart guy, right? Where a lot of these other guys just seems like, I'm out here spending $1 million and I made 1.5. You know, and it's like, well, I don't know who taught you math, but, you know, walking away with $500K when you're supposed to have 1.5 is not, it's not a W, brother. So anyway, we'll see. We'll definitely keep up on it. Shout out, get well soon to Luis Ortiz and Clase. You guys are in for some stuff, man.
They made bail.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, hopefully it wasn't paid through the small, meager bets that they made, trying to get some of those pitch counts up and whatnot.
Right.
But anyway, that's the show for today. We appreciate y'all, as always, being here with the Say Something show. And as the Say Something fam, we're always sending peace, love, and positivity. And we hope that y'all spread that elsewhere. So we'll see y'all next week. You guys stay good and peace out.